Shout out Manscaped.
Yeah.
As always, you're not going to get a better shaving experience. The man, they must groom. The man, they must pattern up.
Oh, it's mad.
It's it's normal.
Freshly groomed.
No, it's normal.
You say, what man got? You know when you get the trim, it makes you want to do it. What,
Everything got clean.
everything. Man clean the car. Man did everything. Man clean the car. Man
Man
did
said man
everything.
clean the car. Nah, man stay on his
So
grind.
right now you're super streamlined right now.
Streamlined.
Go.
Man stay like, yeah, shout out Manscaped. Man stay streamlined and good to go all times.
Use the code winners 20% discount. That's from us to you. Get yourself a Manscaped pack. You
Cutting
get
through the wind.
get the 4.0, get the aftershave, get it all. Use the code winners 20% discount. Manscaped.com. Use the code winners 20% discount when you use the code
Streamline
winners.
out here, you know.
Streamline. It changes the game. Change what the strop. Listen.
Summer's here.
I know you're gonna say. I knew you was gonna say changes up the ting, fam. Say it with
Alright.
chest. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Shh. Winners talking.
Pound Sterling Hustler, Big Dougie Doug.
Come on.
Special guests in the building today. Iconic.
Yeah, man.
We got one of the icons of the culture and of this thing that we grow up in.
Yes.
You know we all love football.
Yeah, man.
One man that we've always looked at and, you know, we've always known he's one of us.
Yeah.
You understand? One of the bros them.
One of the man gang.
Representing.
Yeah.
Representing for you bigger guys as well.
Trust me.
Come
Hey,
on.
listen.
Come on.
Hey, man, call me. Hey, man, call me the Sunday League.
I know.
Hey, hey,
Don't say
that's
a
my
word.
nickname. I won't say a word.
Say it.
Man, call me the Sunday League. Akinfenwa.
Yes,
Hey,
with chest.
and I wear it with chest,
Right,
fam.
come on.
I'm proud. You
Yes.
get me? This is what I'm saying. Yeah. When I was in my prime, you get me? The goals kind of dried up and the cookies. That was the same with me as well. That was the same with me. Jeez. Trust me.
Yeah.
Big in the game, right?
Yeah, Amanda's transcended just from football and crossed over into other fields.
Yes.
And made us proud again.
Yeah, man.
Every win we saw him take was a win for us.
Yes.
You understand? And it's
Yes.
still going. The
Yeah.
story's just beginning.
Blessings.
Yeah, man.
Adebayo Akinfenwa in the building.
Come on.
Alright, let me say something. Let me say something. I'm not even gonna say it because you man are here, yo. But that big up, I've had a few big ups, you know what I'm saying. But that big up kind of hit me, you know what I'm saying. No, real bars. It's the man them.
It's the
You know,
man
it's the
them.
man- That's what it is. It's the man them. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
nah, man, certified. And trust me, real bars. And this is not even just bars, but it's an honor to be here. I came in the room before we even started. I said, yeah, man, this is certified. I've come in here, so I'm certified. So blessings on 100.
Come on, fam.
100. And we can't forget as well in the room, as you can see, sofa's heavy.
Yeah.
You know? I had to tell. I said slide over that way. Or it's just gonna tip over. I had to balance it out. But we got two big units.
Yes.
Shout out Dele Akinfenwa.
Yeah, come on,
You know why? You know why? Because it's always about family. Bro.
Yes, brother.
Before these men come, a man asked me. Dax asked me, my cousin. He said to me, "How many of the man them coming?" I said, "I guarantee you come to my brothers." You understand? Because I see the energy and I love it, bro.
Yeah.
I love it, and we've been communicating. Not many man I see, and I have to just straight on. I was at the NFL thing.
Yeah.
I see Akinfenwa. I said, "You mad? You think
Come
you walking
on.
past me like that?"
Yeah.
I said, yo,
Salute that.
salute people.
Yes.
Jab.
Yeah, I respect that.
No, we're not. Nah, bro. That's what we're trying to bring forth more
Yes.
in this thing.
Yes.
Just straight up homage, straight up. I recognize what you do, man, and you
Yeah.
meant a lot to me, my brother, my youngest son. I said to my son today, I said, you know who Akinfenwa is? He said, yeah, of course I know who Akinfenwa is.
Yeah.
I said, I know about Akinfenwa. He goes, KSI used to use him all the time. And he goes,
Right, real bars. We're gonna touch on that.
we're gonna touch that. But yeah, my bro, good to have you here. Talk to me, bro. What's been happening? How's everything?
Listen, you know what? Bless. To be fair, because we never mentioned he's not on screen, but the
Come
other
on.
brothers here, innit? The
Come
oldest.
on, the oldest, bro.
Big
Big
bro.
salute.
You know what I'm saying? Best friend Victor's there as well in the back. Listen,
Come on.
for what
Salute.
people don't know, innit? Like, I'm massive on family. I'm massive on an inner circle.
Yeah.
And I've always said this, innit? I haven't had to walk my path by myself. I've always known that my people's had my back. And I always say this to everybody, innit? Don't just have people that's there for you, that's around you. Have people that's for you. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I've always had it, good, bad, or indifferent. Like, I can be with the man them, like the brothers, I call them, this family, innit? And I could have just gone to a big event and everybody be screaming my name and I get with them and them man are sending me to go get the drink and that. I'm like, yo, you ain't see everybody be just saying, but that's what it is. It's real and it's 100 and they just keep it 100. So man, I salute everybody in the room and that. But I love what you man are doing. So real talk, like I said, I'm honoured to be here. So yeah, let's talk this up.
Yeah, G, come on.
Thank you for coming through. Big documentary you got coming out.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've seen the adverts for it. By the time this comes out, it will be out.
Yeah.
Talk to me a bit about that, bro.
All right, cool. I'll always say in it. So this is the lead up to the press tour, which you go out and you do your advertising for this, innit? So of course, whenever you do your advertising, it has you time to just reflect about it. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'll always say this, but I'm humble at every landmark and achievement that I get to acquire. Do you know what I'm saying? And when I say I say we, because this documentary, like I said, even my football career. Of the good times and the bad times and the things that people don't see in it. People will only see a Saturday and judge a man on a Saturday, not see what man has to go through from a Monday to Friday. You know what I'm saying? So when I say we, I say it with the family. So yeah, the documentary's out and I'm humbled. Like, it's the same thing. Like, listen, I like to joke because I'm an author, because I wrote a book as well, you know what I'm saying?
That's good.
I'm an author as
Let
well,
me know.
do you know what I'm saying? But no, you know what? It's the same feeling from when the book dropped, to be able to now say that, you know what, I'm going to be able to put a documentary of documenting my life for people to see. You know what I'm saying? It's humbling. I ain't going to lie to it. Like, so I hope people take it in and I hope people enjoy it. But at the end of the day, I always say, look, it's my truths. You know what I'm saying? So, like I put down, I say my truths. And when I say my, so just so people, when I say my, it's a we. It's our truths and it's our journey that we've been to thus far. But like you touched on, like I've retired from football and it's new beginnings. And man's excited.
Yeah, come on,
as you should be. Mr. Wickham Wanderers and that,
come on.
Yeah, sir,
icon, bro.
do you know
Tell him that, just
you know what? No, you know what the worst thing is, and this is not even just because man want to come across and feel like it's I'm humble and X, Y, and Z, because them words of icon, for me, they're big words and they're big statements.
And I don't say them cheaply, bro.
And you know what? And the worst thing is, let me say this, innit? I honestly take it in. When people that I respect say things highly, brother, I take it in. And the brothers will always say, like, we'll hit certain achievements and they'll feel like I just take it in my stride. And I do. Like, I always say, look, I acknowledge the here and now because you have to. Life keeps you on your toes. So for those people that don't acknowledge the wins, the small wins, like, acknowledge your small wins. Like, listen, I acknowledge it, but I'm also in this to experience as many new experiences as possible. So that's why I try not to stand still. So I acknowledge it, and then man will tell me, like, they'll be like, B, nah man, like, take it in, but how come you ain't gassed or rah, and I'll be like, nah man, I acknowledge it, don't get the game twisted, you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying, like, the documentary's out, but when it comes out, people take to it, but that's another tick, and then we're gonna try and move forward. And I think, like, that's my mentality in the game.
And I hear you and I feel you. But you ain't getting away from Wickham Wanderers icon because you ain't playing football there no more. So you got so that you have moved on from it. Brother, I've watched things, bro. I've seen the love they have for you and what you mean to that club. I saw the passion what you had for that club. So you got to hold that, bro. See that certain man are icons for their clubs. You're just as big a part, bro. And I know the man, by nature, we're humble. We play ourselves down. We do all of the above. But our platform, we're giving it up. I ain't waiting till later to say, boy, you know what? Akinfenwa was, nah, bro. Icon to the thing, icon to the bros, icon to the big guys. You see what I'm trying to say? So, nah, we're giving it up. Straight up.
Listen, I'll always say this. And I'll always throw this out, innit? I feel like you've got to be comfortable in your own skin. And I'm comfortable. I remember I signed for Wickham and people were talking about, I signed at the age of 34. And I won't lie to anybody. I didn't feel like the trajectory that the journey we went on would have took to the place it took. I won't lie to you. I knew I had 2 good years in me that I was like, look, I'm still ready to do my bits and bobs. I'm going to take probably to 36 and then, I retire, I'll do my thing. But I also believe that in life, timing is everything. So I went to Wickham and the players that was there, the managers that were there, they allowed me to be me. There weren't no, like he's come in and he's got X amount of million followers or he's flown out to the Super Bowl. There was none of that. The team took man for what it was and they was like, look, we know your weaknesses, so we're gonna suppress that. Only concentrate on your strengths. And because I knew that, I doubled down on my strengths. I was like, nah man, like, yo, can we swear on this? Oh, say none. So I was like, fuck that. Like, I'm used to them commercial shows. You can't swear. You know, I'm gonna let you not know. I can ask the questions. I was like, fuck that, yeah. I was like, fuck that. I can't allow these man who go to bet for me not to go to bet for them. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. So I'm still at the moment Wickham's top goal scorer. We managed to take them to the championship, which they never did before. I was part of that process.
Yeah, cool. Help them get promoted. You brother, it was a big day for you, fam. But now, come on.
Yo,
Come
don't
on,
even
fam.
take me back to
Yeah,
that
bro,
day.
I was watching. You get me, trust me, fam.
Like, when people keep asking me about people keep asking me what I
Legendary
said.
interview.
Yeah, come on.
I can't even. Look, I've seen it back.
Yeah.
But I couldn't remember what I said. But anybody that knows me, I'm a product of the here and now. I'm a product of energy. I talk how I feel at the time. Me, I was certifiably gassed. I ain't gonna lie to you. It didn't matter that there was a mic in front of me. I was letting them know. Boom. But we did something that they said we couldn't. My faith with God is massive. Mumsy done that. Put that in us, innit? So man was giving the testament. I remember the thing where they were saying it was like I was saying a sermon and that. But I was in it. Like,
man was in the moment.
Nah, man, dope times. I can't even complain.
Praise God. All right, let's take it back then, bro.
Yeah.
Where you from originally? Where did you grow up, etc.?
All right, so we grew up in Islington, Mayville Estate. That's where it started. So we 80 baby. Do you know what I'm saying? It was the estates. That's where it was massive. You know, we had the
Kicking
cage
ball
right
outside,
at the bottom. It was proper, and it's funny because I'm a father of 5 now, and I know my kids miss out on the natural education that we had on just run-outs. We were trying. You know the maddest thing is. You know how I break it down, right? We was training without training. So when we was doing run-outs, when we was doing water fights, when we was doing knockdown ginger, that's how man got quick when I was young. You know what I'm saying? So these are all them things that we could do, and whereas parents will know, look, they're outside. So look down, and all the kids are outside playing from, especially 6 weeks holidays, from 8 in the morning to 8 at night or 10 at night, especially in the summer. That was for me the education, which I look at my kids now, and I ain't gonna lie, me, I'm very unprotective. But I take them to training, or I take them to where they're going, and I pick them up. You know what I'm saying? That's just what society is, and it's a shame, but that's where we grew up. You know what I'm saying? We grew up in the estates. We grew up on just being in the cage, playing 60 seconds. You know what I'm saying? 4 benches, header and catch. That's what it was. You know what I'm saying? So went to Highbury Grove School. So people always wanted to say I went to Highbury Grove School right next to Arsenal. Why I'm a Liverpool supporter? But anyway, we'll come to that.
We're gonna get to that because I'm a Liverpool man. I'm a Liverpool man. So we'll get to that. Come on, done.
You know the maddest thing is I already knew the connection between me and you was me. It was me. I know me, you're big, but it was me. You know
For life. What, Delhi, was you kicking ball as well?
Nah, cuz that weren't you at all.
No.
It was my oldest and B. They were kicking ball all the time. Like they tried to get me into it, but it just wasn't my field. I was a music man.
I
like music.
Sweet boy, man. You know what I'm saying?
We
grew up on Boys to Men and that.
Yeah.
This is what crazy for the older people know. When we was young, to get gal, it was the sweet boy. You know what I'm saying?
R&B and swing and that.
You know, it was all that. That's how them man.
That was me. That was Channel U days. I see your videos on Channel. I had my videos on Channel U them times as well. So I was doing music in it, and that was my thing. But it was the same thing. We grew up the same, like in the estate. That's where I used to see these men playing 4 benches in the pitch. That's how we was raised. You know what I'm saying? The parents went off to work. And then it was us. Like, we got an older sister as well, so she used to pattern us. So they used to look after us. And but it was us three. You know what I'm saying? It was the boys. Like, it was the dynamics between us three growing up. It was my mum made sure that it was solid. You three, you lot against the world. Like, just make sure nothing comes in between you lot. And that's how we was raised. That was us in the ends growing up. And that's all we know. Fast forward 30 odd years. We're best friends. We're business partners.
Come on,
like we do everything together. You know what I'm saying? If we're gonna do something, we always make sure. Listen, I always say this, because y'all lot see we roll deep in it. And because we roll deep, like, don't get the game. We are 3 guys who are the same but are different. So when you got best friends, brothers and business partners, blood, the line
deep,
gets
bro.
blurred.
Yeah.
And when I say culturally as well, so you know it's with African parents, very much the oldest gets the final say.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, boy, it'll be the three of us. And I'll always say this, whenever I do stuff like this, and especially with my older brothers in this room, innit, like, for me, he was always the first.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I always looked up, and I'm talking about, like, he went to Highbury Grove. I didn't have to fight for 5 years because he
Punched
did
up
all of that.
everyone.
Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? He did it all.
You know, well, you know what the baddest thing was?
older bro looks like
He done
he's
it
easy.
so
Yeah.
much. He done it so. I went to Stoke Newton. He done it so much that it transcended all the way to Stoke Newton.
But that's how it
Lord,
used to be, though.
that's
That's how it used to be.
That's how it used to be.
But it was,
You
you
can
know
look
the
at
maddest
it.
thing? One thing I always say, like, especially to the next generation, innit? Like, when we grew up, there was, I feel for me like there was rules that followed, and I'm not saying it didn't go left, and it did, you know what I'm saying? But there was rules. It was literally you fought with your hands.
Yeah.
Whoever was the best fighter was the best fighter.
Yeah,
But then
simple.
of course you lived to fight another day, and it
right.
was just that.
Yeah,
and
that's
it was mad because he was the fighter. Me, I was real wicked. People on clock. I was fast with my tongue. Like, I could cuss. He couldn't. So man, them will say back. It just took your mum. Oh. It was a fighting for him. It was just, so I remember I came into Highbury Grove first year, so year 7. He must have been year 10. So he was year 10, and it was his brothers in year 7. And I used to be a little run. I'd be like, what? I'm not getting my brother to beat you up. You know what that was, cuz? I used to get my brother to, and I will always say he was the first. Even when it came to football, people ask, like, my footballing idol was John Barnes, but I got into football because of my older brother. So I used to play football with 3 years, and it's crazy because he knows, but then every once in a while when we do this, I reinforce the fact that I used to always love his seal of approval when I used to go and play with his age group. So I used to always be like, nah, you know what, but I'm going to do my thing because I'm with my brother. And I don't want them to be like, oh man, it's just Yemi's little brother. And it's a hang on. So in my mind, I was like, nah, man, when we playing football, but best believe them ain't going to want me on their team. So he was always the first. And then, of course, I was middle, and then my younger brother. But like he said, it's just, we've been like that from day dot. But lines get blurred because, like I said, sometimes who we talking to? The brother, the best friend, or the business partner? So then it's a catch-up thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, man,
It's more so you, cuz. It's more so you, bro.
You said we ain't being humble because I'm the shit.
Bro,
you know
it's you.
It's not even that. You know what it is? You know what it is, right? No, you know what it is, right? It's like, and people may relate to this, innit?
Because if man say, Hackers on this thing, man, until you got.
What I got? I got a little bumper.
No, why it's cool now, you're blessed.
I say, I'm good looking now, brother. Because if not, if I look back at this, I'd have fired him.
Child, you would have said, yo, you couldn't tell me, you couldn't tell me.
I'm best with that. I'm best with that. But this is what it is. You know what? It's crazy, right? Because, like, for me, regardless of what any walk of life, I've got a certain mentality of how I like things. Not just, it's just, I'm a creature of habit and certain just standards of stuff, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes it'll roll off my tongue and not disrespect. He knows. Like, his biggest thing is patience. He knows how to handle me. My younger brother knows how to. There's times he'll be like, big man thing, I don't care what they've done for you or what you're signing in. I beg you check how you talk to me. There's how many times,
It took a while though, I ain't gonna lie. Because I've been managing this affair for what? Past 8 years now? 8
years, man.
And first 3 years was rocky,
It was rocky.
So imagine your younger brother, I'm the youngest, innit?
Yeah.
So I got to be telling my older brother certain things. If he's fucking up, I'll be like, yo, B, we got to do shit. Sometimes he'll be like, fuck are you talking to, blood? I'm like, yo, this is business. This ain't, you know what I'm saying? So that's how we catch up.
This ain't family time.
Family time. And that's what it is. And sometimes, that's what I say, the lines get blurred. But at the end of the day, innit, on this planet, them two, when I'm talking about a whole 100 in any walk, I know them man are 4 man. So, and it's, listen, we'll catch up and it's cool. Like, but if y'all don't see sometimes, especially me and the older brother, because sometimes I feel like I'm the oldest and he has to check me real quick. You know what I'm saying? If you see how we catch up, but listen, it's love, innit? And I'll always say, any relationship out there, if you haven't had an argument with that person, I don't care what it is, y'all two ain't solid. I'll tell you this now, if you haven't had an argument, like a true argument, y'all, that for me, you lot are surface brethren. Like, you've got to have, because you really and truly, you've got to check individuals, you know what I'm saying? And that's what realness is. So for me, I'll always say, whenever people want to give me props as, oh yeah, you know what, I see, but I couldn't do what I do and be where I'm at without my squad. And that extends, and not just because my man's in the room, but that extends to my best friends. I've got him, I've got Regal, I got Mike, I've got a circle which for me, don't matter what, that I know they're for me. Do you know what I'm saying? And wherever this world goes, and you lot will see it. You know what I'm saying? There's a perception. And then all of a sudden, when they feel like they can do something, or you can do something for them, they all of a sudden change for you. So I'll always look at it that we're hired help to a certain degree. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's my mentality. Whereas I'm never hired help with my team. That's right. Do you know what I'm saying? It's real family.
But that's one of the things that I rate about you, because even like when we're doing business and we're doing work, it's always like, yo, if I'm doing this with my team. Yeah. Certain things where people, just say for instance Super Bowl, I might say, nah, you can only get one ticket, but like, nah, cause if you want me somewhere, you want me and my team. And we're rolling. So he always ensures that he keeps that circle around him, because
it's so important,
like,
bro.
It's so important. People lose their minds when you ain't got the right people.
Keeping that team around you is a big thing. It's huge.
It's massive. No, because for me, I love that you said that.
No, huge. When you look around this room, not to take away from you, a lot of these people, like cousins. So I'm on a similar kind of ilk. My brother couldn't be here today, he's working. But it's the same people I've been around for 20 years. Music, you might see someone in my videos and stuff. Doug's my brother now for life. I put it on camera. You understand what I'm saying? I put it on camera because team is so important. And anything I'm doing, I've always had this thing of I want the team around me. I want to see the people do. It's more enjoyable that way. You see what I'm saying? That's when you really love it. And the next thing I'm going to say to you, as the oldest brother of 3, watching your brother, because I'm watching the room, the way he looks at you as you're talking, bro. He's so fucking proud of you, bro. Yeah. You see what I'm trying to say to you? See how he just look, the whole time I'm talking to you, I can see him on my peripheral. He's just staring and just big old smiles. He's proud of you, bro. Even though he might have to thump you up a couple of times now and then. It's life, you get me?
Let me put the real aside. Coming from love. People want to go and like say, I hit Jim because man love it. But I want to try and thump him when I go, hold you.
I even think I went Jim. I wasn't always like this, man. Smokers.
Pressure,
I have 2 older brothers this big. I'm like, yo,
my younger brothers is like that, bro.
Get some size, man.
I relate to that because the first time I took my brother Dean boxing training with me, I gave him one light lick. His whole face changed. He started swinging like he wanted to kill me. I said, bro, is that what it is? Is that what it is?
Man got the headphones on, but all I see is, man. Yemi used to boy me, cuz. Keep going, man. 4 more sets, bruv. 4 more sets, bruv.
He was building you. Iron sharp as iron.
The competition between us.
Are we competitive?
Nah.
Oh, no.
Tell him I got bigger arms than him.
Never
I'm telling you, go yard and go gym. Today. No long thing.
Yeah, no long thing. Real talk, no long thing. You know the man said, because you touched on that. You touched on it, and he will testify to this, right? I've always stated like this: when you said about when you're around your team and when you're around your family, you're doing something together, it's that much more enjoyable. I've always stated this, right? I've gone, why should one man be up there and the rest be below? You understand what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. In every walk, there's a hierarchy, which there's a respect that comes into place, which you're like, all right, look, you know what? This is just how it works for it to work. And everybody has their roles. You know what I'm saying? But I've always said it. I do not care. You could have one Ferrari looking sick standing there, but let 7 Range Black Rovers pull up, you are going to remember the 7 Range Rovers. I do not care. So for me, I'm not about being the one Ferrari. Let all of us be in 7 Range Rovers together. We walk past, you go remember that. That's how it is for me with my team. I'm like, yo, 7 of us doing what we doing. Bruv. Let there be the Bentley convertible or the Ferrari standing there being by itself. It could cost more than all of it together. Cool. We salute that. But you come at me like, yo, I see what you're doing. Salute. But best believe when y'all man go on, or you like, yo, you see them, man?
See all them
see them 70? Yo, that was impactful. So that for me has always been that. But yeah, man, listen, I'll always say, as much as you like them, man, he'll look at me and he'll say it. He'll just bob on a random man, will call me big man. Like B. Yeah, me be like, hey B. Like, bro, you're moving, you know.
Come on.
Like, come on, bro. This is what we do, yeah.
That's the best you're going to get out of a big bro, you know.
You're
going to get to a moment. That's why I said it for him. Because I'm the same with my brother. You're not going to get it. That's why I said it for him. He might not tell you.
Cause we got a WhatsApp group, and me and him will conversate the whole day, just back and forth. Yeah, man, come in. Yeah, man, I see you.
That's me, brother. Yeah,
it's blessed.
That's it.
That's it. Out again for the day,
brother. That's the old.
Okay, brother.
Yeah, hierarchy, dog. Hierarchy of the thing. That's what it is. I made my brothers know that word. You know, that's what I say to them. I say, what's the word? They say hierarchy. You know the way they hierarchy.
The worst is we keep saying it. Say like we went to Nige and the car came, and there's not even a contemplation. It's not even like, oh yeah, Akinfenwa the footballer. Big man go sit in the front. My son man go sit in the back. There could be 4 of us in the back. He's not squeezing in the back. It's like, listen, bruv, I best believe I'm the older brother, and that's all that needs to be said.
You know,
I'm the
even
older
just
brother.
to touch on that, like the respect is top for us. Like even one story that I'll tell you, man. He didn't allow me to swear in front of him until I was 21. 21. He wouldn't have it.
That's how much respect.
He said, don't fucking swear in front of me.
That's how much respect he's got.
Man said, don't fucking swear in front
of
me.
You know,
Imagine that.
Don't fucking swear in front of me.
I swear to you, like I put this boy on a pedestal like that. Because the reason why I put him on a pedestal, you know when you can acknowledge something that you couldn't do, I couldn't do that. And it's, for me, it's a flaw in me because he allowed me to be me. My older brother allowed me to be me. Like, look, be stubborn. If I go to him, you can't swear. The next hour, I'm going to swear as many times as possible. That was what he was. So he just was like, look, B's going to be B. So as long as he doesn't cross that line, I'm going to let him be B. Whereas for me, I was like, nah, man, not you, bruv. And the worst thing, I was like, listen, don't be swear. That's it. Don't you fucking swear on my life. Man can testify. To the age of 21, but the brother never.
I didn't swear in front of him.
He didn't swear in front of him. On his 21st birthday,
I was like, fuck you! I'm leaving. I'm out of here, dog. Fuck you!
I was like, raw.
You gonna fucking say that?
Fuck all that shit. You saying that? You said 21.
I owed the brother.
But that was but that was how it was,
good though,
it was
man.
like that's how our household was.
That's proper things, though, bro.
It was just setting those things, bro.
And you want him to be. We want you to be better than us. We want you to be the best version. And it's like, go, we pass it down. Same for our kids. We want them to be better than us. And you have a feeling with a younger brother. It's almost like a son, not in a patronising way.
No, but I get what you're saying.
You see what I'm trying to say? It's
massive.
mad.
He will know. Like, for me, I followed suit. He went to Highbury Grove. I went to Highbury Grove. I followed suit. He was like, what? You might have gone to all boys school.
But that was all boys school, cause I was like,
he said, I'm going to a mixed school. He said he got to a mixed school.
No, I learned the difference. I went to all boys school, got kicked out, went to a mixed school, and it was a different lifestyle. Different lifestyle.
So I saw, and I'm not saying that I saw the man names. He's still his man names now. But I see that what he was rolling with was different. Like, me and my older brother had football. So, you know, football structures you. He was like, I ain't really into football. So I'm into singing, but I'll roll with my peoples. So for me, there was a possibility he could have gone left. That was enough for me. Like, nah. That's enough for me. But you're coming with me. So from 16 onwards, he was with us. So it was like, yo. So I remember his 17th birthday.
I ain't gonna lie, he might show man a different
He was
life,
in Miami. He was in Miami on his 17th birthday.
16.
But using his ID. But for me, it was like, as long as I can see and control maybe, but facilitate where he's going, how he's moving. And that was what it was. I wanted better. I was like, nah, man, I'll tell you this now, you ain't going down that. And then, boy, the person he's turned into, I couldn't speak higher of this individual. Like,
crazy.
Salute. Nah, it's real bars, man. And this is not, this ain't a love fest, but it's a,
you know what
it's a real talk.
No. I always look at this show, I always say to the man them, I look at it like a timestamp. I want people to look back and be able to be like, you know what, this is what was going on at the time. So no, we just open up. That's how we're gonna talk. Because you know, sometimes as black people, we don't really kick it straight and say, boy, this is.
There's a facade, and you know, you touched on it. And I wanted to touch on it. You know, you said when you saw a man in the NFL event, you was like, nah, you know what? well, I'm going to acknowledge man and say, look, salute, let's do this.
Yeah.
And I feel like as a community, we need to do that more.
Way
1000%. Because, brother, we are so much stronger in numbers. Why is it the fact that man would be like, right, man's big man. And he's a big man. So, you know what? I'm going to stern up my face even more rather than not. So, for me, what you said there, and it was like, listen, as you said, for me, I was a certified. I was like, I see what you be doing.
The minute I held man up, man was like, bro, get this done.
And that's for me what we need to be doing more.
Yeah,
so
100%.
I keep saluting y'all and keep doing that. Keep shining the light. Keep making it be okay for individuals that be listening to this, that be looking like us, to be like, nah, man, but we ain't got to fear one another, but we can come together. For me, that's the strongest thing out there. So salute, real bar.
Real thing. All right, switching lanes slightly. What, man's doing pro wrestling and that now, I heard.
Say nothing,
what?
Jeez! You know the maddest thing is like, yo, that's come on full circle.
Yeah. Big
like,
bags.
It's come on. Like, you know what? The worst thing is I say this. Again, 80s babies, wrestling,
WWF,
Hulk Hogan,
come on,
send them ones,
Macho
you know what I'm
Man,
saying?
Randy
That's
Savage,
right,
and
Randy
them
Savage,
things.
you know what I'm saying? Oh, man, the
Razor
Warrior, you know what I'm
Ramon.
saying? Andre the Giant, you know them man that we was
Brett the Hitman.
Come on, bro.
That's what we grew up on. Stay up real late.
Nicholas like Coco Beware. You remember Coco Beware?
That was that bitch there.
Man be like, man, look at that Coco
Cousin T wanted to be Virgil. You remember Virgil?
See, that's what we was on.
Yeah.
So man was on wrestling back then. And then, of course, it gets put aside because you've got to concentrate. Then you have kids. And then they reignite that whole feeling. So that it always been with me. And, of course, because man built like a flipping wrestler more than a footballer. So that was it always seemed like it was synonymous. It always seemed like it was a shadow of mine. And then, boom. Listen, when I retired, signed for BT, first thing in BT, done a training session with Seamus. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, even then for me, I was like, yo, bruv, I can bang. Like, we did a weight session. I was banging weights. I was like, bro, I could really do this. And then listen, a friend of mine, Andy Agogo, who does wrestling out in the States. So he was like, look, B, man's got a rest. I got a game. I got a wrestling match sort of thing. And I want you to be involved. I was like, yeah, boom, let's go and do this. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I've always said is when I retire, I'm going to try as many new things as possible. And what lands. Like, I was lucky, blessed enough to be in a profession that I loved for 22 years, but I actually don't want another profession per se. I actually just want to try different things, go here, go there. And wrestling was one of them. So we did it Sunday. To be fair, my arm was in a sling because I was getting ham in the gym. But it's eased up now, so I couldn't go ham on Sunday. But I enjoyed it, I ain't gonna lie, but I got gassed. Like, you get involved in that. And I see the fans start saying, "Go on, get him, big man." I was like,
No.
Shall I get him?
Take my way for the
It's like, "Come on, get him." I was like, oh shit, give me the chair. So no, it was cool, you know what I'm saying? So to be fair, there's another fight scheduled in 4 weeks' time.
November, innit?
In November times. So yeah, man. But again, for me, it's I'm at a stage in life where I'd say I acknowledge the blessings because I know the hardest thing is a transition. So when one thing stop, to be able to find what you are. You know what I'm saying? Because for 22 years, my identity was a footballer. Well, not for me. The identity people put on me was a footballer, and I know people struggle with that transition. Whereas for me, I'll always say that football was something I did. It wasn't something that I was. It was something that I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't something that I was am. In them bars, if you understand what I'm trying to get at. So I didn't want to be like, oh, when football goes away, all of a sudden I'm like, who am I? And that was never me as an individual. And the good thing about me, my brother didn't play football. My brother didn't play football. My best friend don't play football. So as soon as I went playing football, it wasn't like, all my peoples are footballers. And it was I could switch off. You know what I'm saying?
Nigel said something to me, and he was basically saying that people get it twisted that when he was kicking ball and he was at Arsenal, it's his job. So it's just a profession that pays his bill, other than the fact that people think that obviously he loves football, but it's just paying his bills.
Who said that?
Nigel Nita. He was at Arsenal for a piece, and then but it was like academy and went through kind of nearly burst through. But he said for him, I think a lot of people get it twisted that think, footballers, half of the time, you think everyone's they love it, it's football. But half of the time, some people, it's like, you even look at Ben White, he's just good at football, innit? He's not really a football, you don't even watch it. You get what I mean? But he's just good at football, he end up playing, and that's his job, innit?
So I'm glad we touch on that. like, look, we all love football.
With passion.
With a passion. Do you know what I'm saying? And so sometimes it's so hard. I have this debate with my boy Victor. Like, we both Liverpool supporters.
Come on, bang,
And
bang.
you know what I'm saying, real one and that. So sometimes you can't see past because you don't play the game. And you always be like, well, shit, if I was doing it, like, this is how I'd be doing it. You know what I'm saying? That's how it's like, yo, man, if I was doing it, what? Nah.
Flicked over his head.
And I'll always say, regardless of what, football is a job. A job you love.
Yeah.
This is literally it. Like, it's the same with Jar Man doing a podcast. You'd be like, yeah, podcast's my job.
Yeah.
I love it, but it's my job.
Yeah.
I'd be like, shit, but why are you talking like that? But why are you sitting like that? You'd be like, well, hey, big man, tick, bruv. I did the podcast, 2 hours, I got home. That it is what it is.
Yeah.
Whereas with football, for some reason, you're judged as a footballer before a human.
Yeah.
And it's the most mind-boggling thing that, because I was a footballer, but I'll sit there and I'm in the media now, and I will hear man chastise and break players down. And I'll be like, do you know, let me just pause. Do you know how many players that person had to be out to get to that point? To get to that point. And you want to say the audacity, and you know the maddest thing is, and this is the realest, you lot ain't even the elite in your life. So you man could be doing stuff, and it's not even like you're it's not even like you're the top in whatever profession you're in. But you want to go and talk about a next man. Yet that for me is so mind-boggling. Where I'm like, but of course, it don't make it so, but it is society. It's
that thing, innit? Like I always say, my life, your entertainment.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, 1000%. And when it comes to football, that's what it is. It's like, because especially football and with the man them, I don't care. It's rare that there's one brother we can have a conversation that throughout their progress in life, at one stage they played football and be like, yeah, you know what, bruv, if I had the opportunity, I would have been a footballer. You know what I'm saying? That's because we love the game. So somehow you can't distinguish the fact of, bruv, it's a job. Like literally, I came, I did my thing, bruv, I'm going home. If I was shit on the Saturday and I was, cool. It's just like you was working in the bank and you was shit. You fucked up a couple numbers, you missed up. Bruv, you let the thing go. And then Monday you go again. But with football, it's perceived as, and there's so much shit that goes in to being a footballer. And it's the maddest thing because football, for me, is one of the most harshest jobs in the world. I will not lie and say, oh, it's a great job. Like, we'll get in at 10 and we're done by 2:30 most days. You know what I'm saying? And them man that paid the elite league money, them man ain't gonna work again. The man them in the lower leagues, yo, I keep saying, tell me one man in the lower leagues that's gone on strike. Man can't afford to go on strike. I'll tell you this now, like, it's real. And then if you've done something for 10 years, bruv, when you come out the game, you got to start again. So you really and truly, you've just done something for a period of time. And then you've got to start again. But people don't want to see that. They want to go and see what they see on a Saturday. Oh, you ain't running hard enough, which is cool. Everybody's got an opinion. You can. You know what I'm saying? I'm not running hard enough. If I was getting in that money and rah. But it's one thing when your trials and tribulations is in front of everybody. So if you have a shit game, that's in front of everybody. You trying to get your confidence back, that's in front of everybody. And you know with today, everybody's got an opinion. So for me with the football thing, I always look here and be like, charming, like, people got a lot to say. And I guess it comes back to, look, be comfortable in your own skin, because if you do it one way, people gonna say something. You do it another way, people gonna say something. But just do it your way, you know what I'm saying?
So when did you know you could be a footballer? When did you look and say, you know what, I could do this? At what age?
From when he was 6, innit?
This is what I'm saying. I'll tell you when I knew.
I knew Big Bro was going to be involved.
I knew I could. I was really good at this thing. I knew I was really good at this thing at probably the age of 10. So the age of 6 was when I started playing, because I looked at it and I keep telling the people, ask me this, and I tell the story. My son, my youngest one, he's 6, could be 7. I ain't gonna lie to you. He's 7? It could be 7. I've got 5 kids. It's hard to keep numbers. Allow me, you know what I'm saying? But all right, so he's 7. So I'm looking at him now and I'm thinking, all right, so I was way better than him at 7. I say that now. So I knew I could ball at 7, but at 10, and this is what I said, when I used to play with my brother's age, and they were proper arguing whose team I was going on.
Yeah.
Then I was like, rah, so they're 13, they're 3 years older than me. So when I play against my age group, bruv, I'm duppy on them, man.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying? So from 10, I was like, no, I know I'm about this life.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, for me, at that age, nothing came above football. At 10, nothing. I'm talking about
everything was football.
It was you gave me a foot, and it didn't matter what size football. You know what I'm saying? We lived in the estate, and we had this little hall where mums would be like, "Bruv, you kick a ball in my yard, I'm dumping in your life. I'm sending you back to Africa." You know what it was.
Yeah.
So it was a tennis ball. I remember being in the house doing kick-ups with a tennis ball, and I could. And I remember, let's try and do 10 kick-ups with a tennis ball.
Yeah.
Now I got 10. And about these are ages 10s, 11s. I'm looking back at it now.
Yeah.
And then I was like, cool, let's do 20. So I remember at one stage I could do 50 kick-ups of a tennis ball. No, I'm talking about with a tennis ball. So, and then I'll just go downstairs and it won't be nobody else and I'll have a football and I'll be in the cage. I'll be like, all right, cool. All right, let me just try and see if I can do 100 kick-ups. And I remember it because I said it. Maybe it took me a week, 2 weeks to get 100. And I remember the 100, he was watching me do 100 kick-ups. And then it was, all right, cool, man, kick the ball as high as you can and see if you control it. And all this was at the age of 10, 11. I was like, nah, you know what? I'm good at it. Anything I can say. And then I keep saying I was playing outside training without training. We used to play games like halfway, so you weren't allowed inside the area.
I remember them games.
And I remember my older brother would, and then you play the games where you have to try and hit the post. So all these stuff where for us was games, this is training, this is learning your accuracy, this is dinking the ball over. So this was all the stuff we was doing, and I remember he could just dink it over me, and I couldn't dink it over him. So I'd have to do one bounce and knock it over him, but was learning how to control knocking it over his head. So all this. So by the age I got to 13 and he was 16, I was at my age group. I was duppy. I was duppy in my age group. So 10 was when I was like, nah, you know what? I can do this. I can do this. But I was a very stubborn. Once I decided to do something, at 10, I was like, listen, I'm gonna be a footballer. That's what I'm gonna do. Like this game, man, John Barnes, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna be a footballer. So once I said that out there, it didn't matter. I remember telling mums, you know, African, you gotta be a doctor, you gotta be a lawyer, you gotta go university. My sister, my brother went to university. I was like, not me. I'm going to be a footballer. So once I decided, and they had just known, boy, this boy loves, eats, breathes, sleeps football. So from the age of 10 was when I was like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to go and do this thing. I don't get the game twisted, man. Trials and tribulations were severe, man. I was getting rejected, constantly.
How did you keep your head?
Do you know what?
Stay
I
focused.
always had a slight arrogance in me. I always had a slight arrogance in me thinking, what, even at my size, because I remember...
Were you always a ticker youth?
I was a big youth.
He was always a big youth.
It
wasn't even a bit.
So was that
ability.
part of it that they always felt?
Yeah, it was just the
big.
size.
So
it was always ticker. Okay.
So I was always a big youth. Yeah, I mean, you see my brothers.
Yeah,
I mean,
I see it.
He went to work and his stuff, but he was thick set. You know what I'm saying? So it was genetics. But where it went, I remember when I went to secondary school. Before I was eating what the parents were eating, cooking. That's all it was, you know. And eba, grand rice, you know what I'm saying. That's all what, and solid, proper. Then I went to secondary school and we started to get dinner money. So instead of eating that, I managed to get the wings here and managed to get the bourbon biscuits and the custard creams, you know. So that's all of a sudden. So I went from being 100% muscle to all of a sudden flowing up and down. So when I was going for the trials, literally, technically, I kid you not, and this is not arrogance, but I could do whatever any of them could do. But I didn't look like a footballer. You know what I'm saying?
Was you the big youth with a touch? You know there's always that they say.
No, I was quick. No, I wasn't even.
Or was you
No, like, you know the maddest thing is, I was just I even say even more. I was the big you that had the Bermuda shorts, and you know them man.
Yeah.
I was that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like them man. Local. But I was. They were from head to toe, shin pads, but not me. Like,
local.
you know, they were proper. They looked like footballers. That me.
Puma Kings with all the with everything.
I had high tech crap, which I ain't even knocking. I had high tech crap, but that's how I was. You know, mix and match.
Seeker blades, man had the Seeker blades.
Come on, it was a mix and match. So when I'd go there, I'd be like, "Bob, I kid you not," and this is not arrogance. I could do everything they could do.
Yeah.
But it was just, you know what? You're cool, but you don't look like a footballer. That was the bar. You didn't look like a footballer. So I was like, all right, say nothing. But at the same time, I'd still go back to playing football in the cage and doing bits. Like, it literally didn't matter. I was doing bits. I could play football. So anyway, I'm going to cut because the whole story's bare long. And that was the same up until 16, left school. Parents was like, all right, look, either you're going to sign for a club, you're either going to go get a job, or you're going to go to college. There's no way you're sitting at home, do you know what I'm saying? And I'll always say this, and I say this to my kids now, right? So I went to college. I studied business studies in college. And I only did that to make mumsy happy, innit? But what I learned, so I got my studies, I got my qualification as a business studies. 20 years later, 26, maybe 25 years later, what I learned in that business studies, I put it to starting Beast Mode as a company.
Come on.
And then, and I always say it's full circle. And I kid you not, I just did something to appease my mum. But it came full circle around when we started Beast Mode. We was the biggest, we was the fastest startup company in that year. So I feel like sometimes when you feel like a plan A ain't going for you, you are meant to be where you're meant to be at the time where you are at. Do you know what I'm saying? So I had to go to business stuff. I had to go to college. I had to go to college from 16 to 17. Still, I was like, look, I'm just doing this because football is what I wanted to do. Still getting the whole, you're too big to play football. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're good, but I keep saying it mind boggled me because I was like, bruv, if somebody's got something, if
you're bagging, you're bagging.
Yeah, do you know what the thing is?
That's what
it was
it was.
Because I kept on, bruv, if a man could box but he's big, I'm like, bruv, you can box, but bruv, if I get you in the gym 7 days a week for the next 6 weeks, bruv, you're still gonna be able to box, but you're gonna trim down. That's what I was thinking as a pup. I was like, bruv, you man keep saying, you got something, but you know what I'm saying, you're a bit big. Then train me, cuz that was what I was having in my head, but it kept on doing the same thing, literally. And I kid you not, there was a point where I was thinking, well, am I not as good as like what I think I am? You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I was like, hey, bruv, but I kid you not, Victor would testament. It'd be like, bruv, I see you ball. Like, let me tell you, I'll tell you the realest. 4 years ago, on my birthday, giving speeches, everybody was giving me props. He said, Victor's here, he said, look, I ain't gonna lie to you, but I'm proud of you, but you underachieved as a footballer. This is the boy he said to me. So I think everybody look around, cuz he was like, that's how real we get, bro. That's how real we get.
Shout out Victor, though.
I'd have him speak on it. I'd have him speak on it because he was like, no, listen, everything you did, I'm proud. But the ability you had, for me, I saw you up there. The Prem should have been your level. That's not, but he's a football man. So you know that was, and I remember saying that my ego used to, because I had young managers that had players that had made it pro. And their bars, they would say, bruv, out of all the players I've had, you're the best I've had. So you know when you're hearing bars like that, you're like, oh shit, I'm the real deal. Then all of a sudden, when you go to a trial, and when I mean I went to trials, I went to Leighton Orient, I went to Luton, I went to Watford. I went for the trials. Man, the manager saying, you know what, you know when it was, But I was, oh shit, cool. And all of a sudden, he's like, all right, bun this. And then this is where it was to the point when I had to go to Lithuania. And it's the most weirdest. I keep saying now, when I try and tell the story of how it came about, why I went there, I say it in a point where me going to Lithuania showed how much I was going to play this game, and how much I wanted to play this game, and that my path had to take me out there to go to bring me back here. Right, I keep saying that I was never going to give anybody who came into my life on a temporary basis permanent status of my life. So if I came on a coach and a coach was like, you're not for me, how then for me could I allow him to take my dream away? But if you've already known me, I don't give a care if you loan me for a year. 6 weeks, bruv, I've got a dream. So I can't give you that permanent status. So when they came to me and said, listen, bruv, we're going to pay you to go out to Lithuania and play, I was like, I say, no, bruv, get me on that plane. And I keep saying, it didn't cross my mind, not one little bit, that I didn't know the language, I wouldn't like the food, and I'd be the only black person out there. It didn't even cross my mind. No, I just got told, that's you, that's you, bruv. Big man thing. Listen, their dish, it's important. Their go-to dish is cabbage and meat. I didn't know that shit. I didn't know that shit until I got there. They must man, listen, this is the delicacy. Delicate what? I swear. You don't clock all that. For me, I didn't. I did not clock any. I just knew that they was giving me an opportunity to go and play football, and on top of that, pay me. I would have played the game for free. Until you realise that you got bills to pay. I didn't have nothing at the time. But I would have played the game for free. So I was like, right, they was like, yeah, man, we're going to pay you. Like, and I can say this now because the tax man can't come for me, but that man paid me brown paper bags. So I no tax. So you know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh shit, I'm gone. Bam. When I landed, it was a reality check. I was like, oh shit. Like I remember going there, sat down with the chairman. Chairman went to me. This is when I knew it was a real deal. Chairman went to me, do you want security? I said, what? He's like, yeah, he owned a security firm called Argus. So, do you want security rolling around with you? Like, security? But again, by this time I'm 18. I'm a big boy. Nobody in the ends disrespected me. I wasn't a bad man. I was just of size. You know, of size. You know. So I'm thinking, what? Security?
I'm good, fam.
I was like, I'm good, fam. Bam. My first game, my first pre-season game. So anybody that knows, when you play pre-season games, we didn't play in the stadium. We went to we went to their team, so they were a lesser team. So because they were a lesser team, their pitch, they weren't in the stadium, so everybody could stand around the pitch. Boom. I'm a striker, like strikers do. You stand out on the side. We took centre. Right.
By the crowd.
Yeah, by the crowd. Like, listen, by the crowd. So as soon as we took centre, went back. They tried to knock it over to me. It was monkey chance. I was like, I swear to you, I was oblivious to it. So I was like, nah, that man just must be making some sound effects. I swear to you, they must be just making sound effects. Because think about it, I'm 18. I went to a metropolitan school. You know, the area that weren't even nothing. I didn't experience no racism up until 18. Boom, so I was like, right, man, them man are beatboxing in my head. It sounds funny. It sounds funny now because I can say it. But in my head, because you don't clock it, like if you haven't fed something, you don't clock it. So in my head, I'm just it must be like this over here. That's what I'm thinking. It must be like this over here. All right, boom. So then, anyway, play comes. Then I get it on my chest, bam, boom. I'm thinking, what? Then you start like, wait, hold on.
Know what they're doing.
Wait, I know what they're doing. They wasn't doing it until I got the ball. And then where there was not even no fucking, there wasn't even no question. Let me tell you what happened. All of a sudden, so in like 10 minutes into the game, I'm on the ball. This is what goes on, the chant. Zigga, zigga, zigga. Shoot the fucking nigga. Zigga, zigga, zigga. Shoot the...
Yeah, you know where you're at now.
Yeah, you know where you're at.
Where that cabbage and beef and
start
adding up there. You
so
know,
I'm like, oh shit. So boom. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, don't let it stir you. I remember it's 0-0.
Yeah.
Going at half time. And our club captain is the only one that can speak English. He played football in Poland. Only one can speak English. So I went to him. So I can't understand any of the words. Like the manager speaking. I'm just sitting there like, boy, you know what I'm saying? But what did he say? He said, yeah, pass the ball to you. All right, cool, say now. He started talking. But I went to him. I was like, hey, big man, like, but what does zigger mean? They was like, boy, nothing. They just rhyme it with nigger. It's like, shit, mad thing. Cool.
Them man are doing Zim Zimmer.
Just
to fit the nigger.
Just to fit the nigger.
Just to fit the nigger in, you know. Racist.
Fucker. Alright, so let me think this, right? So, say it was about 1,000 people was chanting. 500 were my own fans that joined in.
Yeah.
So 500 was his team he played. 500 my own Ziga. What? Anyway, second half comes out. I'm like, start off, boom, straight away. I get the ball, blah, blah, blah. They start again. I'm like, fuck this. Boom, I'm like, yo, bring me off. So it must have been, as I'm walking off, it was like a goal was scored. Everybody cheering.
Yeah.
I call him. Yo, I used the president's phone out there. So I call him. I was like, yo, bro, fam, I'm coming yard.
Yeah.
He was like, yo, why? So I told him, like, yo, this is what done. He said, look, you know what? B, I won't tell you to stay anywhere that you don't feel comfortable. But if you go, they win. That was his bar.
Come on.
Let me tell you something. I ain't even going to gas you like it's a film. I was like, yeah, they've won. Coming on. Beat, cuz. That's how I was moving. I was like, but I kid you not. Listen, I say my faith is mad strong. But I woke up the next morning on my life, called it divine intervention. What he said was like, I was thinking, are you mad? Ain't nobody running me out of nowhere. Yeah, I kid you not. So boom, I cut that whole season, boom.
But even just to fast forward, because I came to buck him.
Yeah, cool. I
came to buck him when I was 14. Yeah. So I was like, let me come out there and, you know,
him and my girl came out. He came out with my girl.
But it was peak blood. Yeah. So I come out there just to see the environment, support him and that. So we must have went to the shop. And I could just remember my man them just banging on the bus and they just giving me the finger. Yeah. So we was raised in Dorset. We was raised in Hackney, innit? Yeah. So I'm looking at my brother, what the fuck is going on, bro? What is this?
This is a movie, blood.
This how it be.
Yeah, horror.
Yeah, blood, this how it be. But he ain't got used to it.
I've been out there for 3 months.
You've been out there for 3 months, so he ain't got used to it. So we went to like a supermarket. I bopped in there, still me, like I'm a bit, you know, I'm young and I'm a bit like, yeah, Aggie, like, what the fuck? I shit you not, we walked into the supermarket. It was like a young girl, she might have been like 7 years old, all dressed in black. So she's run up. So we walked in, so as we walked in, the whole supermarket stopped. Everyone. I'm talking about, you could have heard.
It would have been cuz tumbleweeds would
could have just, and people would have heard it.
Bro, 3 black people.
Blood
fire. That's how it was. Oh, come here them.
Yeah, we thought we had one.
Oh, now we got 3.
He his mates, innit?
Man, so I'm looking at my brother like, yo, B, what the fuck? Like, what's going on? Like, he said, blood, this is shit that happens, isn't it? Like, this is it, innit? This is how I'm living. So then, must have walked in there, and then within 2 seconds, like, one little girl, she was wearing all black, she ran up to us, innit? So and she must have,
yeah, it was right by the, was just giving, was by the till.
By the till, that's where we was.
By the till.
But she just done the Hitler sign and said, white power. I said, oh.
Yeah,
I'm like, yo, so I'm looking at my brother and he's like, look, this shit happens all the time. Yeah. But it made me realize, when I came back yard, analysed the whole situation, it made me realise like, it didn't matter what was going on, he was willing to go into the trenches for football. It didn't matter what was happening around him, as long as he was kicking ball and he was doing what he loved, fuck everything else.
Yeah. When you bagged that, how did they respond?
When
you scored?
See, you know, it's crazy because, so season went on, scored goals, got racist abuse from the away fans. But my fans, like I used to always say, what's up? And that's Zugali in Lithuanian. So that's like Doc, Rabbit. So that was their nickname for me. And what I learned, it was, but we scored, like we got to equivalent to the FA Cup final. It was the first trophy they won in 11 years. And
you won it?
Yeah, we won it. We won 1-0, scored the only goal, and when I mean...
Oh, you
He won it, blood.
sorry.
Yeah,
Don't
fast forward.
I forgot. This ain't an humble thing.
No humble
thing. Well, you bang to go.
I'll bang the winger,
Yeah, the only black man there bang to go.
Black man back.
Yeah, he said the rest of them had no checkers.
Man, to show me the right sort of stuff. Finish it now. Caress it. No, we got to the equivalent to the final. I scored the winner, right? 2 elements I take from this, right? 1, after that, I kid you not, my fans took to me like fucking shit.
Like Drogba at Chelsea.
They just took to, man. I remember first celebrity I remember opening up an Adidas store, cut the ribbon with the scissors. I was like, big thing. Adidas store came to clap a door. I went clap. I said, yeah.
Come on.
I was like, oh snap. Met the mayor, Clyde-Pador, that's where we stayed. Didn't pay in cinemas, didn't pay at restaurants. I was like, oh shit. This was what I learned from there, right? I learned ignorance was bliss. I learned that they were scared of what they didn't know. Proper. I kid you not. But then also what I learned, and this always sticks in me, right? There was a moment. So let's say we played the final, right? Scored the goal, won it. Our fans have run on the pitch. And I'm all jumping, celebrating. Blah, 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 blah. Boop, boop, boop. And I kid you not, this will stay with me, right? Like, so now I look around but when you say movie shit, this was a movie. Everything goes silent. This is what it feels like anyway. Everything goes silent. They've got their tops off. My fans. They've got Swashner stickers tattooed on their chest. But they're celebrating. So they're celebrating with me. So I'm in the middle. So, bruv, it's like this. I'm in the middle. Them man are like, these old... I go, it's crazy. I go from blop to, oh, shit. So, but I'm trying to not make it that they're seeing me, that my body and my facials change. But I'm thinking, bruv, because I can get plucked here and I'm down. And nobody will know. And it's the first time in my life that on a football pitch I was apprehensive. So it was the quickest thing. Listen, grace of God and that, nothing happened. Them man were excited, rah. But there's this picture. Like, anybody can remember when Ashley Cole takes a picture of Roma and he's standing on the outside of the picture. So these are ultras, so they're the seller. So they've come to take a picture with the fan, with a squad. But now I'm like, nobody's standing behind me. You ain't catching me slipping. So they were taking a picture and I'm on the outside, they're standing like, we won. There's a trophy in the middle of us. But there was 2 things, that's what I was trying to say. There was 2 things. It was that moment and that realised when I lose, ignorance is bliss. But fast forward, and I always say this to people now, right? Sometimes when you're going through what you feel like is your darkest moment, it does really set you up for what you need to be and who you're meant to be. So when I come back here and I was getting chants of, you're just a fat Eddie Murphy, or, you know what I'm saying, your tits are just offside. In my head, I'm like, them man said they wanted to dead me because I'm black.
You understand?
Have you been... I just come
is
from
light,
where you're all right, but you see your mate Toby.
Come
from there.
Fam! So when them man are trying that, me, I'm looking round thinking, you man can't even penetrate my soul. And that's why I say we product of our experiences. So I'm certifiably, and I thank God, I won't do it again. And I don't think if my son wanted to go somewhere, and I know we better off now, but still the shit's still happening. But what I'm talking about, when I went away, there weren't no FaceTime. Laptops were bare money. So when you was out there, I had to get a phone card in the phone box. I had to chat on MSN. Grown folks will know MSN. Man, just chat. Ding.
No pictures, no none.
No none, cuz. No none.
Man, chat, you don't even know if it's
Exactly.
So when I'm talking about I was isolated. But when I came here, this was, I kid you not, going through this process. When I say it was a breeze, of course but it was a breeze into what I came from. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, I honestly look at my career thus post Lithuania, like, you know what, anything that was thrown my way, but I was going to be able to handle it because of what I handled in Lithuania. And that's why I always say to individuals, you know, when you want to give up, when you're like, nah, man, this is too much. Like, listen, B, if you can get through that process, it sets you up for everything else. Therefore, you need to go through. Man.
And look at where your career took you, Carl. You've had big praise and personal messages from two of the greatest managers in our time, Klopp and Pep, singing your praises as well. What did that mean to you when you got them praises?
It's mad. I got Fry Mourinho as well.
Oh, okay, my bad. Put the stats on the table. Put the stats.
You know what?
On the table.
At first, I was
no, don't do that. No, put them out there.
At first,
Put them out there.
No. Now I'm just going to be.
Let it be
I'm
known.
going to give
Let
you
it
my
be known.
receipts. You know what I mean?
Lay it on the table.
Nah, you know what? Again, and like all jokes aside, one thing I'll always want people to know when they interact with me or when they talk to me, I'm an authentic brother. And I'll always say this, it's humbling on all levels. Because, listen, I acknowledge I didn't play in the Prem, I didn't get to the elite, and I get that, and I understand that. I wanted to, but I didn't. So the way, whatever it was, I wasn't meant to, I wasn't good enough, whatever it was, so be it, I get it. But that don't take away the fact that these people that, like we said, I'm a fan. Like, I played professional football, but at the same time, I'm a fan. When we played Liverpool for 90 minutes, I wanted them to... It's the only time I ever wanted Liverpool to lose, when we played against them. 90 minutes, they were my enemies. But I ain't gonna lie, I was kicking Skirtle like, say, he owed me money. I ain't gonna play. I was running them, calling bare fouls, all of them. I could have injured them for 90 minutes. But as soon as we lost the game, I turned into a fan again. Wanted pictures with every single one of them.
But hold on, let's not forget you bagged against Liverpool as
say
well.
that.
You scored. Stats on the tape. Man scored.
Bars.
We're not skipping past it, bro.
No, I was gonna come back to it. Like, don't get twisted. I already know
Go
now.
ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna come back to that. Like, I'll always say, look, if you
man.
can't play for the team you support, the next best thing for me is to line up against them, and then if you can score, you know what I'm saying, and celebrate inside, like, you know what I'm saying. I ain't gonna lie.
You didn't know celebration?
No, I didn't know. I ain't gonna lie, cuz.
What you
The
doing?
first time ever when I scored a goal, I think I was thinking, shit, what do I do, cuz? Oh, fuck that, man.
Yeah, you gotta get some. Fully.
I ain't gonna lie, cuz. But for me, again, humbling. Like, I played against one of my idols, Stevie G. Gerald, I played against Gerald, still probably the best player I played against. Because he was just, I remember it felt like he just got bored. He was 0-0 for like 35 minutes. And it just looked like he just looked at man and said, man, fuck this, man. They just went to go score. He made it. What you know about it? It's like, look, you lot moving too arrogant. Let me just go score. And that's just, he just did that. He scored, and I've said this a few times. So we made it 1-1. It was like, oh shit, in my head. Liverpool supporters, I was like, we're going back to Anfield. Are you mad? Oh shit, this is complete. But they get a free kick, and I'm a striker, so I get into the wall last. So as I run past Stevie G, he's setting the ball down, Stevie G puts the ball down. As I run past him to get in the wall, kid you not, he goes to me, sorry, big man.
Come on, because he's slapping that in.
I ain't gonna lie to me, at this time I figured, dickhead, but what are you saying? Sorry, please. Like, that's, you know, you do big time shouts, innit? Players do, it's just like, kid you not, yeah, sorry, big man. This is, but he didn't even look up. Let me try and paint the picture for you brothers, because you ain't clocking.
He took the piss.
It's not
the Predators on as well,
he's putting the ball down, and he says, so he must only saw my boots.
And he knows you support Liverpool,
You
brother.
get me? He must have saw my boots when I passed him, and he went, sorry, big man. So I'm thinking, yeah, whatever, cuz. Yeah, so the manager just binged it, whipped it in, bam, 2-1. Took my Anfield dream away from me. So after, but to be fair, he gave me his
Gave
top.
you a great story as well.
Yeah, now don't get it twisted.
Patton back.
Something man could dine on for life, you know.
He gave me his top, and he bought me a burger in LA.
All of us a burger in LA.
Everyone got fed.
And the burger weren't cheap, you know. The burger weren't cheap.
Come on. He weren't cabbage and meat.
It was succulent, cuz. He was like, yeah, big man. And he was like, big man, order this burger on me. Give me 2 of them, big man. I know you've earned your pee. But yeah, man, so listen, to be able to play up against a team I support, score against them, humbling. And I'll always say, I think that was the moment where people beyond the lower leagues realised who I was. I said that. I remember getting info after the game that was trending on Twitter, 40,000 tweets. I remember I did ITV News the next day. And I remember chatting to him. I was like, but what?
So what do you want me to? What do you want me to do? We lost, cuz.
What do they want to say on the news? We lost. Like, you know, they're gonna interview me. Hey, big man, good game. You lost. But what do you want me to say? Yeah, we lost. But of course,
when you
grew up in London and the news want you, you're like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's not for gun crime or that. You know what I'm saying? You're like, say that. Yeah,
no, but your passion and your character comes through the screen.
That's what I said.
It's always come through. It's jumped through the screen. Like. You're authentic. There ain't no. It's not no. I'm trying to say what needs to be said. It ain't a media trained. This is me, and people love realness, bro. Realness is gonna. Everyone recognizes real. That's your authentic story. So, and I think that's what's bust you so much.
And you know the maddest thing is, and that's what I'll always stand by, and that's what I'll always say to everybody out there. It's crazy because I feel like as individuals, especially us, our community, I feel like we feel like we have to conform. Do you understand what I'm saying? And be like, oh, you know what? I shouldn't say this for that. And like, don't get the game twisted. But I'm not saying stuff for the sake of saying stuff. But if I ain't got nothing to say, I won't say it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if I've got something to say, I'm going to say it. I can only say me. My opinion or my view or my words, it don't make it so, and I'll always say that. And when I give you my opinions, I can only give you my opinions. You know what certain man should do. I would have done this in this situation, but I don't make it so. It's just saying what I would do. So whenever I always say it don't matter if you watch me on TV, see me in real life, I want you to be able to take away, you know what, this brother's real. You know what I'm saying? If I check for him, I check for him. If I don't, I don't. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? In life, but you're not meant to get on with everybody. And I'm cool with that. I don't get on with everybody, and I don't need to get on with everybody. So that's what I want to grab off. But I'm going to come back to the point when man like Pep turn around and say, you know what, Bobby, we played against a legend in the game.
Fact.
When Klopp is saying to me, to be fair, the Klopp thing, he went out to get my number. He went out to send me a video.
It's only right.
That for me, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna, he at that time, Liverpool had won the Premier League. Like he was at the point, I dropped that again, Liverpool won the Premier League.
Let it be
you know what I'm saying?
I was hoping he was going to say it again. You see how Liverpool man I was hoping, say it again. I was thinking, say it again.
Try to ignore it with drunk eyes, you get me?
So for me, when the manager is that, so he was the hottest manager around at the time, innit? Said, nah, man, boom, I'm going to take out time, I'm going to send this brother a message. For me, I kid you not, listen, like, brother, I was a real, them man were there. Like, when I got the video, I was a real kid. I was a real kid. Watching that video, I was like, oh, shit. This, for me, is humbling on so many levels. And then, again, like, this wasn't broadcasted, but we played Tottenham in the FA Cup for Wickham. So Wickham come over to Tottenham. Sorry, Tottenham came over to Wickham, and I was on the bench. And me and Mourinho chopped it up 20 minutes. 20 minutes. They'd gone in, and he's gone to me, yo, big man, I hear you're going to retire. You're coming to retire. Because, you know what, I think I'm trying to toss up, do I retire at the end of this championship season? This is when no fans were coming to the game. So I was contemplating, am I going to retire at the end of this season? He was like, listen, whatever you going to, I'm a fan of you. If you need anything, I love what you're trying. So I'm listening to Mourinho talk to me face to face. And I'm just like, but this is for me one of the Don. He's the special one. I loved when he came into the game. Like for me, I'm very much an advocate for character. You know what I'm saying? Go in there and be you. You know what I'm saying? I think, and he was chatting to me, and I'm just out here thinking, like in my head, I'm looking. He must be thinking, why is this dude looking at me like this? Like, I'm looking at him like, this Marino's chatting to me like, bruv, he knows me. Like, and for me, it was just, I keep coming back to this. I don't care what anybody. But it's just humbling when the elite acknowledge man. Like, and that for me, what it was. And after the game, like, I'm gonna say this because people say I should say this. So, of course, after the game, I wanted Son's and Kane's shirts after the game. Right. So, them man give me their shirt. Like, big thing, like, you know what I'm saying? I got actually like a collection. I ain't gonna say nothing yet, but when I move into my new yard, I'm gonna pull it up, show the world and that. So anyway, so Son and Kane gave me their shirt. Then we get a knock on the door, and they asked for this. Oh, listen, a couple of players want Akinfenwa's shirt, and anybody that knows in the lower leagues, you gotta pay for every shirt you give out. Like the Premier League, them man are good. You know, them man are good. Them man are like, yeah, take all my shirts and that. Me,
man, them's on the grind over.
Yeah, cuz when they said, I went to the kit man, hey, big man, am I paying for this, cuz? Them man like, nah, look, it's Tottenham, innit? So I was like, all right, cool, give out my shirts, innit then? So he give out 3 of them. He give out 3 shirts to Tottenham players.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, cool. So in my head, I'm thinking, oh, that's sick, innit? Like, them man want my shirt, you know what I mean? They get another knock on the door. You know what? Another 4 players want your shirt. So the kit man had to go to the club shop and print up 4 new shirts to give out to Tottenham. And I asked my team. My team are like, no, man, we got to tell this story. And I'm sitting there. And again, humbling moments. I'm like, yo, this is the elite. This is the Premier League boys. And it wasn't like that, bruv. Gareth Bell, Son, Dembele, not Dembele. It was Dembele. Was like, I'm talking about it was their squad. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking, wow, like, so in the end, we give out 7 shirts. The question I was asking, am I paying for any of these? That's the first question I had to ask. The man said, no, but shit. But bro, it's 7.
Why I kicked off by saying you're an icon in the team, bro. Like, it's not, I know you're humble with it and it's real like that, but it's not like you was a dead baller as well, bro. You gave man the business. Whenever you'd be playing, you're giving man the business. They should want man's shirt. Yeah, 100%. They should want man's shirt. You're a big baller, bro.
Because like you said about the Mourinho thing, like you're an advocate for like the icons in it, or people character. You had a character about you. You get what I'm saying?
And could kick.
And
gave man the mold.
Gave man the footballers. Like you got to think, like you said, you go to all these clubs, and everyone's like, you don't look like a footballer. You don't. But then at the same time, you're not looking like a footballer, and earning footballer money Liverpool. And scoring goals. At Anfield and them things.
And I keep saying this to him. I'm like, look, there's a million kids out there.
I'm telling you,
that want to be ballers. And
think they can't.
That will look at you and be like, shit. You know what? B did it.
Come on, brother, you inspired dog.
I got my nickname. You get me? Like, bro, I'm out there playing football. Like, don't look like anything like what footballers look like. SE Don's doing my thing. And man are giving me the Sunday League Akinfenwa nickname. This is what I'm saying. Breaking the mold and inspiring other youths that look like me to want to kick balls. You get what I'm saying? It's just, and that's why they're out there paying homage to you. You get me?
That's the thing which for me resonates the most. Like, accolades are accolades. I won't lie. You go in to try and be the best you can be. But you know what I think for me resonates the most is those individuals that are good, but because they don't fit the perception and they don't get the opportunities, and that's what it is. And listen, in this world, I don't care what anybody says. The more you hear certain things, the more you believe it. That's just what it is. So if you're a certain way, and I'm like, but you know what, you can't do it because you're. The more you hear that, the more you're gonna be like, shit. You know what? Yeah, I get it because 90% of whatever it is that way. That when you say them sort of bars and when them players are, and it's not just big. The players that they say, listen, are too small. Too small,
not grown up. Nah, he's not grown enough.
When them
Anton was on it. Anton Ferdinand was on there and said they always used to say to him, he's too small. He's not. But they would go off, but Rio, he could grow to be like Rio.
See what I'm
saying?
See, they're the powerful things. They're the one that resonates with me. That I do want people, when they do take away from the story, to be like, nah, man, fuck that, man. Like, I'm good I'm comfortable. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'll always say it like this, right? But in any story, and you lot will know, trials and tribulations, every single one of us, where we've tried to get something, we've fallen down. We know that. Do you know what I'm saying? That the thing which for me drums the most is that, you know, at the end of the day, you do it your way. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if you fail, when you look at yourself in the mirror, you're like, you know what, fuck me, man. Listen, I gave it my all. You know what I'm saying? But I fell short. You know, and that for me is what I want. Like, do it your way in the end of the day. Whereas, you know, it's crazy. I've come back and I've said this and I've touched on it before. It's like, you can do it what you way that they think you should do it. And man got something to say anyway. See, in the end, you're looking and thinking, fuck, I didn't fucking want to do it that way anyway, man. Fuck it. I should just, and that for me is what I want people to take away from any walk story. For me is like, look, you know what? At the end of the day, I did it my way. And that's why, and I'll preempt this conversation. I've been asked since I retired, did I enjoy my career? And listen, I got told that when the person asked me that, a lot of people said, nah, not really. I kid you not, I enjoyed my career.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say I enjoyed my career, especially the last 10 years, so 30 to 40, and the reason why, because I literally did it my way. I did my career my way. Especially the latter stages of my career, I was so comfortable with who I was. I knew I weren't doing no step overs. I knew I was not running.
I weren't running channels.
I weren't running channels. I
weren't pressing.
I knew it. I was so comfortable in my skin. So when the man said, yeah, but you know, I was like, cool, you know what, you're right. But I promise you, you put it in a box, I'm going to score. I promise you, you get it to me, I'm going to hold the ball up. Like, you know, so for me, I was so comfortable. And listen, I enjoy my career. And the crazy thing is, he knew, like, my gaffer let me go to the Super Bowl. He let me miss a game on a Saturday. So it'd be like, or let me fly out from Monday to Friday, land back Friday and play on a Saturday. And in my head, I'm like, so you said you can't do that. But I'll score on a Saturday. So you know what I'm saying? Listen, and of course, don't get the game twisted. I understand that the elite maybe can't do that. But you can only maximise the situation you're in. Like, you can't look elsewhere and say, well, if I'm a Mane, I'm not a Mane. Like, I'm an Akinfenwa. So that was the thing where I enjoyed my career. I did it my way. So for everybody that turned around, yeah, but, you know, you played it. Yeah, man. Listen, I'm a product of the EFL. That's what it is. I didn't get to the Prem. Fine. I'm a product of the EFL. I did that my way. I beat out, I flip it. I played the game for 20 years, so I must have been... But you gotta have something about you and just be big to be able to play for 22 years. You know what I'm saying?
If anything, you wouldn't play because you're big.
Yes,
if you can't.
1,000%.
So a lot of man fade in, fade out, and tomorrow, bro. That's like it's a chew up.
All right, to the bigness and the strength, like we said at the beginning, strongest man on FIFA.
Yeah, man.
Boy, it's obvious how that came about. Commands a unit of a man. Is that certified though? How did they get them stats?
Well, you know what? I ain't gonna lie to you guys. They kind of made that shit up, like, because there ain't no real way to test the strength element. You know what I'm saying? But it's because you look like the strongest. Because there ain't no other. You know what it is? There ain't no other footballer out there that's bench pressing 190 kg.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Look,
you see if I turn around, is it wrong? What?
What? He sat back down. Look, he come back to sit back.
You know the worst. So let me let people know.
I want to know there's a lot of henchmen in this place right now. So them man know the significance of 190 kg.
No joke.
Come on. I know about
it's a big thing. So, and that was, you know, what the crazy thing is, right? There was an element where, and we touched on this earlier, like KSI, JJ. That guy I pay homage to because he introduced me to a world I knew nothing about. So when he blew up on social media, I think social media was a young people's thing when he came out at that time. So 10 years ago, it was a young people's thing. You know, people out there just doing whale off a thing, wild things, and it was a young people thing. And it's crazy because I think it would be hard for some people to understand that I'm still am to a degree, but I was very much a private guy. Like, if you didn't follow the lower leagues, you didn't know I played football. I wasn't built like a footballer. So you didn't know I played football. So I'll just come back in at the ends. When I started my career, I played for Torquay, Swansea,
Millwall.
Barrytown. Like, Millwall was later.
Okay.
So I was all out the ends. So people were like, well, shit, what does this brother do? And I rode with my brothers. I was a big boy. So football was the furthest thing from what I did. And I liked that. I kept it, yeah, man. I work in the government. Like, that's how I used to say. Then KSI came, dropped the video. Akinfenwa. Oh, my days.
Telling you.
Because it just took man to another stratosphere, like, literally. And then I remember saying with FIFA, like, there's two communities. KSI is an entity to himself.
Yeah.
FIFA, an entity to himself. And bring them communities together, it was just, I couldn't even fathom.
Perfect storm.
Yeah. Exactly. To be fair, that's what it is a perfect storm.
God's plan, bro. Mummy's prayer's been answered. Mummy's been praying over your head for a long time.
1,000%. And it was this brother. He was like, he told you, he was into the music scene. So he knew about social media. He knew about trying to get your product out to as many people as quick as possible. And I was like, oh. And then we had a conversation. He was like, nah, man, like, look, you need to jump on this wave because people seem like they gravitate to who you are as an individual. And then boom, shit, we did that, and then boy, like I guess when they say the rest is history, you know what I mean?
No, look, facts. First thing I said to my son today, first thing he said was, he's like, yeah, I know about him. I said, oh, you know about him? He goes, yeah. But I mainly know about him through KSI because he used to do the thing. He's the strongest guy on FIFA.
Yeah.
And that's a generation below. My son's 17, so it's a whole different audience.
Yeah, man.
To big him up for that still.
Yeah, man.
Big up KSI for that 1,000 times.
You know the maddest thing is, and this is what I say, like, listen, I still chat to KSI, and KSI is in the documentary, and that's what I'll also say, like, the brother for me is, you know, when they talk about icons or when they talk about people you look up to and inspirational individuals, KSI is one of them individuals.
So, you see when you're a big guy, you can never sneak back in the room. I know you man know them ones, innit?
Let me tell you something. I tried to be professional.
Yeah, I know, man.
I tried to. He came in and it wasn't even the one kind. Oh shit! And the maddest thing is, where I'm from is they say the show must go on. Just continue. I tried.
Sorry. Yeah, carry on.
So, like, when people want to talk about like people who transcend whatever they do, or you know what, are comfortable in who they are. See that to me, if I won't even say that kid, that individual KSI, bruv. When I'm talking about, he is levels. Yeah. Like, and for me, there's not one bad word I can say about this youth. One, because he put me on this social media thing. But now we put a pin in that for what that brother has done. From how many times people have said, yeah, man, you can't do that, you're a YouTuber. And what that brother has done.
Come on.
All right, like, for me, it's a salute thing. But coming back to in the sense where he introduced me to a demographic, an audience, a world which, I kid you not, I would have never had gone into.
Never known about.
I would have never have got, literally, I kid you not, I would have never have gone into it. And then that world there, but then again, it's like anything, innit? When it was D came to me afterwards, he was like, yo, man, shit. Have you seen this? That's 2 million views of a video. That's 2 million people have heard your name.
2 million people that's known, that seen.
He's like, man.
Big.
He's like, yo, man, but we got to pick this up.
Capitalize on it. Yeah, bro.
And then, of course, then we started doing that, and then we started fucking with EA, started messing with FIFA, and then, of course, the rest is, like I said, the rest is history. But
Go on.
no, I was just about to touch on, like you said, like your son, that's 17, my son is 13 and 12, innit? Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, he only gives me cool points because, boy, daddy's strongest in FIFA. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? So that's where my daughter's 15 and that gives me no act right because she ain't even checked FIFA. She ain't even cool like that.
No matter what you do, the most I get from I say to my son, Jadon Sancho said to big you up. Yeah. But inside, you know he wants to go to.
Of course.
Big man thing. Listen, and I'm gonna drop this in it. So I'm FaceTiming VVD, right? So you know it is. So whilst man are chatting in it, so we're like, boom. So I was like, so this is how I was saying in it. Part of me, like, I wanted to say, oh, yo, Dad, you the baddest. I was like, hey, yo, Jai. VVD said, well, I'll blow in it. Man went to me, I just popped up the stairs. In my head, I'm thinking, Papa, are you mad?
You better come back here.
You better come in.
Give man a something.
You better show him you're happy. Like, come here. Say hello to him. This brother, cuz, but now you're a bit older now. When you get VVDs to come to the party, what? You went to the party him last time.
But now you are
the flip side of it is though, it's good that they look at everyone as normal and they're not better than us. It's just where the light shines on us all individually when the time. You see what I'm saying?
100%. You know what? And I drum this. I say this to the man them. Like we want better for those that we love, innit? So I want to be able. I want my kids to have the things that I didn't have. But I don't want to take away the things that I did learn. And that's the most powerful thing. And I always say to my youth, and when I knew, it's not that my kids ain't spoiled. And I always, I think there's a word like entitled that gets triggered, but they're just used to stuff. So you know what I'm saying? So like nowadays, innit, like, I'd get stuff sent to the house, or they'll just send me stuff, innit? Like I remember when I was young, I didn't have crep. That my biggest thing was trainers. Like I didn't have the Nike. I didn't have. So in my head, I was like, yo, when I grow up, I'm going to have crep.
See how much crep this guy.
Now don't put that out there.
Fuck
man.
all that.
I don't have that
See how
much
crep.
What size is fam?
For no reason, I have 10 pairs that are the same. Just because of that one thing when
that's
you was young.
one thing when I was young. I was in my head. I was like, yo, when I get older, I'm going to be in that position where I've got crep. Well, I knew my kids were different. Like when we was younger, if I said, "But what do you want for Christmas?" Bob, I'll be able to lace you a list.
When they say I don't know,
I went to my youth.
Come on.
Not even me. The missus went, "What do you want for Christmas?"
I don't know.
They're nice.
In my head, I'm thinking, what? Oh, you're good.
You're too good.
Like, you're too good to that. But when you have to start, I'll Google something. You Google something. Big man thing. We're in a different place. And that's where I say, I'm good. I want them to be able to, you know what? If they got boots or that feeling I want. But I don't want them to have the lackluster things of, you know what, I'm going to drive and push and motivate and grind for the stuff that I want. And that's the balance that I'm having with my kids at the moment now, being like, nah, man, listen, but your dad's 40, he gets on a bike every day.
Straight up.
So you've got to, if you want it, like I had this conversation, both my sons, especially like my 12-year-old, he wants to be a footballer, but he talks the talk. He don't walk it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, but there's nobody telling me, if I want to put on bare weight, I can put on bare weight. But you see me on the bike daily and I've retired. But why are you only doing stuff when it's time to do stuff? So you only be working when you got to go training. But, and so on a Sunday when they've lost, they'll be like, Dad, you got to make me a footballer. I was like, it starts from the Monday before the Sunday. Don't tell me the Sunday of it that you want to be a baller. So you know these kids, I think for me, the kids are less resilient now. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what I put in. But man, that's the day-to-day process that we got with our youths, isn't it?
It is. As we start to bring it to a close now, talk to me about Beast Mode. We got to plug the thing always. Tell me about Beast.
All right, so
Plug.
So, all right, cool. Documentary drops on the 28th, Amazon Prime. And listen, you know what? I'll always say the best way to depict what this is it's our truths. Like, we don't sugarcoat it. And the stuff I've said here today is what you see. Trials and tribulations. Like, we put it out there. And I'll always say, look, you know what? Sometimes some people don't want to put out, you know, the setbacks they've had. But to be fair, I think you remember the setbacks more than you remember the joyful times. Not saying that you shouldn't acknowledge the joyful times, but I remember missing a penny. I remember the racial abuse, you know what I'm saying? And the reason why because that shaped me to the individual I am today. And the documentary puts that up. It's, listen, you lot know when we spoke about it, family is everything for us. So when you see that, you'll see that on screen. You'll see that I haven't gone through this journey alone. You know what I'm saying? In every walk of life and every stage of my life, my peoples have been there. Mum, dad, sister, brothers, and my brethren. You know what I'm saying? So the Beast Mode on documentary, if anything, when people take it in, and I want people to take it in, listen, if you do take anything away from that, is to be unapologetically yourself. You know what I'm saying? That nobody can do you or be you better than you. You know what I'm saying? And your source is your individuality. And it's the most powerful thing we own.
You see with the Beast Mode, you got a clothing as well.
Yeah, we got a clothing line.
Let's let them know, man.
We got a clothing line, beastmodon.co.uk. We got an app game as well. It's like a Beast Mode on run. So it's literally like a tempo run game. So you're kicking balls and you're running. You got to interact. We got mentoring schemes coming out as well. Like you just said, Beast Mode documentaries coming out. Loads of things in the pipeline.
And we got like a book, it's a Marvel thing.
It's a Marvel book.
Because man's gonna go into like the Marvel world because
Marvel slash
superheroes,
superheroes,
fam.
Yeah, Thanos be talking a whole load of crud and that thing.
We need to cut him down.
Black Adam come true and that. Man, gonna have to have that the Beast of the Night and that. Like,
something like
you know what I'm saying? Like, we came from the
rings them. Keep the rings them and run.
You got a few things on this sense.
I love it,
space, but listen, we're in a good place. And I'll always say, look, we try and count blessings and not problems, because, you know, in life and that. So may God continue to bless us. Everybody that listens to this, so blessings on blessings. Thanks for having us, man.
Appreciate it, man. Them coming true. It's love every time.
Always.
Wrap it up.
All right,
Blessings.
Come on.
Come on.
I love.
Yeah,
Sick, man.
yeah.